to nominate Pam Myers for our empty seat. Do I need
I think we should probably go all on this one.
Okay.
I need a first and a second.
That's first.
Seconded.
All right, roll call vote on nominating Pam Myers as Alderman of Ward 2. That is, all right, Alderman Claudia Costu,
Aye.
Alderman Dennis Bovee,
Aye.
Alderman Gloria Maynard. All right, Pam, come on up. Go ahead and take your seat. You are now official. All right. Oh, don't sit down yet. Okay. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Pamela Myers, do solemnly swear
Pamela Myers, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of the state
and the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting cities of this class
affecting cities of this class
and the ordinance of the city,
and the ordinance of the city.
that I possess the qualifications required
I possess the qualifications of desired
for such office as specified in the laws
for such office specified in the laws
of the state of Missouri,
of the state of Missouri,
and that I will deem myself
and I will deem myself
faithfully in said office.
faithfully in said office.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, let's get your John Hancock there. And there. And there. And there. All right, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Okay, I need,
I make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I want to, we had a longtime resident pass away this last week, Jules Brown, and I'd like to have just a quick moment of silence and then continue on with the meeting.
okay. Everybody want to stand up?
Don't we have to approve it?
Yeah, it's probably better since
Better approve that.
All right,
Okay.
motion, I need a motion to
Sure.
I
amend.
make,
I make the motion.
All right.
Second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody,
Oh, wait.
everybody want to stand up and
Yeah, stand up, moment of silence for Jules.
better go on his bomber.
Thank you.
Got the agenda, now we're going to the public forum.
Well, let's do an approval of the agenda. We did a move, or we did a motion for the amendment, now let's do a motion. for
Okay,
the-
I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Okay.
Now we're on.
Okay, Jeff Storer, our auditor, is here to talk to us. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Jeff Stroder. I'm here with one of my auditors, Sasha Williams. Wanted to explain kind of what you've got here in your audit report. I know most of you have heard this before, but I do happen to know that you have a new alderman who hasn't heard the talk about the audit before. So we wanted to get a chance to kind of tell you what's in the report. I'll go through it fairly quickly because it was fairly routine audit this year. The first thing we do is that we issue a report on your financial statements. And the report on page 1 explains that. It explains that the responsibility for the financial statements is with the city. And my responsibility as the auditor is to give an opinion on whether or not they're fairly stated in accordance with the basis of accounting that you adhere to. It explains the different standards that I followed while I was conducting the audit. And then it explains that it is our opinion that these financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects in accordance with the modified cash basis of accounting. That's the technical language that's in there. What that is an unmodified opinion. It used to be called unqualified. It's a clean opinion. That's the one that everybody wants to get. It explains that we've done some additional work. There's some additional information in here that's over and above the basic financial statements. We've applied some procedures to those schedules as well, and that we also believe that they're fairly stated as well. We also explained that we've also issued a report in accordance with government auditing standards to say that we've looked at the city's internal controls over how we record transactions, and we've looked at compliance with different laws and regulations, contracts, grant agreements, things like that that would be financial in nature. That report follows the first report, and it explains again what standards we adhere to while we conducted the audit. And it explains that while we're not actually given an opinion on the city's internal controls, we do have to understand how they work in order to be able to conduct the audit. So while we're getting an understanding of how the transactions are recorded and the processes we go through, that if we see any weaknesses in the controls, that we'll point them out, and this is where we do that. We note in here that the different kinds of findings that we would have would either be a significant deficiency, that's the stuff that's, these are some things that you need to look at, and then there are material weaknesses. Those are kind of the bigger weaknesses that we would point out. We mentioned in here that we've got one material weakness that we do point out, and that we didn't note any significant deficiencies. So I'll come back to the material weakness in a minute because we'll get back to that part of the report. The last part of this report, like I was talking about, has to do with compliance, and we did not report any instances of non-compliance. The financial statements themselves follow. I hate to spend a lot of time going through your numbers. I know you guys are familiar with your financial statements, and one of the main reasons why I want to do that is that last audit, we came in, we suggested several changes to the financial statements, and we recommended material changes. This year, we did, things were in order, the accounting looked so much better. We didn't have any significant adjustments to recommend, so that means that the financial statements that you're reviewing were already pretty well in order before we even came in for the audit. So that's the reason I wanted to mention that. And that's also why I wouldn't normally spend a lot of time with the numbers unless anybody had any specific questions. The footnotes to the financial statements are just more detailed. They follow the actual statements, and that's on page 15. It's just a lot more specific detail about what's in the financial statements and some of the procedures that you follow to prepare these. So that too, it's very entertaining reading. If you're suffering from insomnia Sunday, you can pull that out and that'll take care of it. The part of the report that everybody is usually the most interested in is, like I mentioned earlier, the actual findings themselves, the recommendations that we have. And the last page, page 35, is the recommendation we wanted to make. Now, as I noted before, it's considered a material weakness in the controls. And I would say probably 80% of the clients that we audit are going to have this same recommendation. We're pointing out that we don't have enough of a segregation of duties. And what I mean by that is that if one person is responsible for handling money, receipts that come in, actually reporting the transactions in the financial statements, and then able to be a part of the reconciliation process, then you've got one person that is handling all different facets of the transaction that way, and that's not an ideal situation. Now, I understand that we have one person who works here to do that. So this is one of those things where I don't really know how you would go about changing it with the number of staff that you've got. However, if I don't point it out to you, then I haven't done my job. So that's why I just want you to be aware that the situation is considered to be a weakness, but I'm also not having any findings of any
Wrongdoing,
or
yeah.
anything like that. So that's, I always like to make sure that those things go hand in hand. You know, we mention the weakness, we're not mentioning any problems with the accounting processes. So I know that the involvement of Michael Horrell's office and Matt's work, I've worked with Matt on several clients, and we've worked together for many years, and I know the work that they do is very reliable.
Yeah.
And I know that helps. Having that extra set of eyes is going to eliminate some of the risk. You know, unfortunately, with one person, you're never going to be able to overcome that. But I think that what you're doing seems to be taking the steps that you can to make the best of the situation. So, anyway, that's kind of a nutshell version of your audit report. You know, we definitely appreciate the opportunity to do the audit for y'all, and I hope everything has gone as smoothly from your end as it has on ours. You know, if anybody has any questions about the report, I'd be glad to try to answer.
I looked it over, and I thought it was great. Good job.
Appreciate that. I know the work that Dave's done and all the folks that we worked with while we were here, everybody is very easy to work with. We make the job go about as smooth as we could hope for. So we appreciate the effort that everybody gives us and the professionalism. You know, working with Matt really seems to make things go very smoothly from our end. I offer that not necessarily because I want you to be happy that I had an easy time with the audit. The reason I offer that is that if the audit goes smoothly, that means we've got accountability.
Right.
And that's the point that we're looking for anyways, to be able to be accountable for how we spent the money. So that's why I offer that.
In your opinion, then, this is your opinion, it was a good audit.
It was a clean opinion, so that's the one everybody wants.
Yep. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, aren't we all?
So, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Do we need to approve the audit then? I know we approved the draft, but do we need to approve the original audit? I would think we had.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah, I need a motion
Make a
to,
motion to approve the audit.
second,
Seconded.
all in favor,
Aye.
All right,
opposed?
all right.
Okay, Matt, you're up.
I don't really have anything to say, other than I just want to come down and get some FaceTime with you all. I know I've met most of you before, new aldermen. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Matt Schweiger, work for Michael Horrell and Associates up in St. Genevieve, acting as treasurer of the city. Come down and help David once a month. We do bank recs and put together treasurer reports and budget reports. And like I said, I didn't really have anything to say, but if anybody's got any questions, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay, citizens, Jody and Anna Odom.
Thank you all for that.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Be careful going home.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, I just wanted to say what happened last month with Diane Smith. Ms. Francis, who's a pretty much man, called it deplorable. I'd like to add a couple of disgusting, distasteful, unprofessional, childish, and illegal. Okay? Statute, Dennis, you quoted the statute for citizenship. If you've gone up a couple, 79-250. The mayor may, with the consent of the majority of all members elected to the Board of Aldermen, removed from office for cause shown any elected officer of the city, such officer first being given the opportunity together with his witnesses to be heard before the Board of Aldermen, sitting as a board of impeachment. There's no impeachment. Not being a resident is not an impeachable offense. All that was a dog and pony show. Dennis, she wanted to act like a big shot. That action was totally illegal, okay? Diana told the city clerk she had a resignation letter before the meeting. You already knew about that before the meeting. You didn't give her a chance to do that, to tender her letter until later after all this took place, okay? She tendered her resignation. The board has not voted to accept that resignation. Therefore, she's still an alderman, okay? And now you put a 5th alderman on the board. So you now have 5 aldermen on this board. Her resignation has not been voted on to accept, okay? So right now you have 5 aldermen. Yes, okay? And I just, you know, this board sits there and does things the way they want to. They don't have any respect for the laws at all. Sunshine Law, Chapter 79, they just do, you guys do what you want. And it is, I mean, disgusting, okay? Another thing I want to bring up is, and this was brought up in the town hall meeting, it was brought up during the candidate forums, citizens are not given the opportunity to speak when you want to pass an ordinance, okay? Your ordinance on meeting procedure says that you will abide by Rosenberg's Rules of Order. In that, in voting on an action, one of the things is open the floor to the public for comments. You're not doing that. We don't have the opportunity to say anything about it until the ordinance is already passed, okay? That's denying us our First Amendment rights. That's got to change, okay? You want to come up with an ordinance that affects the citizens, we have to be given the opportunity to speak, yea or nay, you know, either for or against that ordinance before it is voted on. You're not giving us the opportunity to do that. That needs to change. Okay? We don't have, I don't know how many people that talk about things, I said, go to the city meeting. Number one thing I get, I don't want to get arrested. Because of a couple instances here where Mark has pulled me out, Carl White tried to get me thrown out. And I explained to Mark that there'd be lawsuits, and he agreed, and then Frank Smith being arrested. Okay? People are afraid to come in here and speak for fear of being arrested. That is something that this board should alleviate. You should not have a fear of being arrested to come in here. And right now, that's what, and the Ponder's coming up. I wasn't here, I was doing a sleep study last month, but I looked at the video. Mr. and Mrs. Ponder stood up, and the first thing, the mayor screamed at them, you have to give your name and address. Yes, it's on video.
I did not scream at them.
Yes. You
No,
want to see
I
the
did
video?
not.
Go on YouTube, it's on.
I didn't scream.
Hold it, that's enough.
No, that's censorship. You will not
Yeah.
censor me.
You can say whatever you want, I just don't want no argument.
You
There's
will
no, be
not.
no argument.
You
You're
will
not gonna
censor
stand
me.
here all night and preach.
Your
No,
time's up.
no, okay, my 3 minutes is up,
Thank you.
okay? That's all he had to say. And by the way, I know Casey Lawrence sent each of you, but
I got
just
one.
for the
In
record,
fact, I got 2 of them.
each of you, and you might actually try reading that,
Motion.
okay.
She wants to speak.
Mayor and Board, tonight I want to express how much I appreciate you all doing and attempting to do a difficult job. I know it's not easy to sit on a board. Okay, I'm on a board too, so I know what it's like. My issue is that I'm disappointed in the lack of professionalism and decorum displayed by this board. A great example last month is the manner in how personal grievances were exercised to illegally remove Alderwoman Smith and the manner in which it was done. The second example was when the Ponders came with questions and it seemed they were treated with disrespect. We are all in this together, okay? This is my personal opinion, okay? I want you to understand that. I feel with the way the board is operating right now, we can't go forward. We all need to be working together, and I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So I think all of you have, there are resources out here that I think maybe the city is not using. I just want you to know, not all of us are angry citizens. Some of us want to make it better. But at the same time, I'm disappointed, and I want my community to improve and go forward. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I be recognized, please?
I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, under old business, we have an ordinance for the fire department. I need a,
I make a motion to read ordinance number 911
First reading.
by title only.
first reading.
First reading, yeah.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Let's do a roll call.
Okay.
Since it's ordinance. Alderman Clyde Costu,
Aye.
Alderman Dennis Bovee,
Aye.
Alderman Gloria Bader,
Aye.
Alderman Pamela Myers. All right, bill number 911, an ordinance establishing regulations for the fire department and stating when this ordinance shall take effect.
Okay, I need a
I'll make a motion for second reading.
second reading.
It's bill number 911.
All right. Let's do a roll call for that. Okay, Alderman Clyde Costu, Alderman Dennis Bovee,
Aye.
Alderman Gloria Bader,
Aye.
Alderman Pamela Myers. Okay, bill number 911, an ordinance establishing regulations for the fire department and stating when this ordinance shall take effect.
Okay, do I have a motion to pass it?
I'll make a motion to pass bill number 911.
I second.
Okay, roll call vote, Alderman Clyde Costu.
Aye.
Alderman Dennis Bovee.
Aye.
Alderman Gloria Bader.
Aye.
Alderman Pamela Myers. Vote is passed.
Okay, under new business, we got a letter from the Attorney General, and in your packet, you will find the response that we sent them.
Right.
And we'll just. There it is, okay. We just stuck it in there so you guys know what our response was, because it had to be given by today,
Yes.
so. Okay, does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. Departmental reports, emergency management. David?
Yeah, on Tuesday, the 17th, I took a class called Web EOC at the St. Genevieve Health Department. Awesome class. It allowed me to get a password and a user ID so I can now log into that system where you can request supplies. In the event of an emergency, you can log all your It's got like the road conditions. It's set up really well where everything you need is listed right at your fingertips. So, and it's all your forms are there, so you can get reimbursed for your expenses. And I'm glad that the city now has access so that we can request assistance when we do have an emergency. And I'd like to get the board's permission to take incident command systems 300 and 400 in Cape. The tuition free, the only expense would be mileage.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you got your approval. Okay, water and sewer report.
Thank you, Mayor. Chlorine residuals are good, bacteria are good. We replaced the chem feed pump, had to order a backup pump, or it's in. Clarifier's been fixed and running good, and we reseeded the plant. Okay. Bought a new used honey wagon vacuum pump that on the old one was completely wore out of the old one. And the new used tank is bigger than the older one, and the pump is a lot better. So, the bids are in each alderman's package, and it shows that we did the best possible route that we could do.
For the honey
On
wagon.
the honey wagon, yeah, rather than replacing the old pump, okay? Because the bids were way out of whack as far as I'm concerned, but anyway. Okay, bids are in for Circle Drive. We're waiting on one more before we open the bids and make a decision on it. Brewster is the only one that has to give us the bid yet. And he said he can only do the driveway and not the street, and these other two are gonna do the street too, which I think is a much better deal. But that's neither here, we'll discuss that when we open up the bids.
Okay.
That's it for the water and sewer.
Okay, how about park and cemetery?
Okay, the park was vandalized again, the old jungle gym was tore up, and the gate remains locked, okay? Don't know who did it, don't know what happened.
What happened to the, I mean, what happened to it?
Frankie and them can tell
Somebody
you better.
ripped it down, like somebody pulled it down and broke it.
Yeah,
It's laying on the ground.
yeah,
For real?
yeah.
It was old anyway, I mean, the concrete was showing stuff.
It was probably a good deal that it was tore up, but, I mean, I just,
It's never a good deal down there.
no, it's not a good deal, vandalism is not a good deal, but I mean, for safety reasons, I'm glad it's on the ground, okay? I really am.
So is that something that we need to get out of there? I mean,
Yeah, when the time permits, we will. We will get it out there and we'll put those brown ones up with that we have down there.
oh, okay.
So, but, just wanted to make everybody aware of it, to keep an eye on the park once in a while, because, we don't need any more kind of vandalism, worse things that happen, okay? The cemetery's okay for now. That's it.
Okay, street department flag.
I don't have a lot. You guys have been really busy. I think they've done a good job. I know that there's been a lot of hours, late hours. And I appreciate it. That's all I've got. Just want to tell them thanks.
Fire department.
We have 5 firefighters going that's taking first responder courses. They started 3 Tuesdays ago. Anyways, we're taking that. That's a 10-week course. We gained 3 new firefighters, which that's a plus on our part. Call outs, we had 1 brush fire on Highway 61, 1 brush fire on Church Road, 1 structure fire on 3rd Street, 1 structure fire on Z Road, and 1 mutual aid call for Ozora. We replaced air tank on 51, and plus replaced 1 of the brake chambers. It's all fixed now. The other truck that we're working on now is 41. We got a bad pump packing in it and the tank ball valve's leaking. We're in the process of fixing that because it's leaking our water out. So, also, me and Dennis was discussing the other day here, which Kirsch couldn't be here discussing, but we was discussing about reflectors for our hydrants. A lot of our new guys are where they don't know where the hydrants are, even on the map, they ain't paying attention where the dots are. So I was gonna look into that, if we get together and actually get some reflectors for them, or some sort of reflection off of them. I talked to Jeremy Trailer out in Perryville, the fire chief of Perryville. They got a neat setup that goes on top of the hydrant. When you spin with the wrench, it actually spins with you. It folds down and you can spin the hydrant in. We didn't really discuss the price of them, but they'd actually probably work great. I mean, but we could probably just stick some normal reflectors up beside them or something like that, the driveway reflectors. The other thing is we plan on sending the new firefighters and some firefighters been on the department to basic fire training. Whenever we get a physical date, it's coming up. University of Missouri's putting it on. Probably at St. John here, so we're going to try to go to that, a few of us. And that's basically all I have.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to make a comment, ma'am, if I could. The house fire on 3rd Street, the fire department did an outstanding job in saving that structure. I want that known, that they did a real good job on it, and I was real proud of them. Proud to say that we do have a fire department volunteers.
Okay, police department.
Mark, you in here?
Yes.
You got anything to say?
No, I do not.
I really don't have nothing to say right at this time.
Okay, do you have anything to say on animal control?
I'll be careful what I say. I haven't been here 2 weeks, but I haven't seen no animals. It's too cold.
Yeah. Okay, citizens' participation. Does anybody have anything to say? Okay, I need a motion to
I
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
I would have liked to have
Second.
said something, but never mind. Second,
Are you sure?
yeah.
You should.
Okay. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Here is actually written up, yeah.
What?
All right.